Good evening, everybody. Superbirddiecast here. I know this is a bit of a late showcase, but I'm here with all the 2020 treasure hunts, A to Q. This was the first year I ever completed all the regular treasure hunts for the year. And I didn't find all of these. Some of these I got on Amazon, which is usually my last resort. But this was before I joined the community and I could trade for things. But I hope you guys like the new setup around here as well. We got all the super birds in this area, and I put all my super bird castings up here. There's my team transport. There's the one Mike's Mods and Customs did with the wheel swap. Anyways, sorry for getting off topic. Let's get back into this. And let's start out with the A-Case Bubble-Matic. This thing came out in 2020 A-Case. The Super Treasure Hunt was the R32, and this was the debut assortment for ID chases, and it was the Night Shifter. This was a brand new casting in 2019. It came out in blue, the wand was pink, and I'm pretty certain it shared the identical green base. And for a fantasy casting, I gotta be honest, I actually don't mind this treasure hunt. I found 4 of these in the wild when I had the chance. But still a pretty decent treasure hunt. Next up is the Mercedes Unimog. This is the 2020 B-Case treasure hunt. It says the SWAT on the side. We have police with the Circle Flame logo inside there. I actually got this out of a case, and this is the only one I'd find. And in that case, I pulled the 4GT40 Super, and I'd find 2 of those. However, I would not find any more of these. I only found the 1. And I'd say this is a pretty cool treasure hunt. I would argue that this is probably one of the better years for treasure hunts in recent history. But that is just my opinion. And if you disagree, power to you. Anyways, we're moving on and advancing to the Grass Chopper. This is a new model from 2016. Came out in yellow in its debut. Here it is in blue and orange. Orange being the main color. The Circle Flame logo is behind the front tire. And this is quite a beefy looking lawnmower. Looks like you could put this in some lawnmower racing. Next up, we have the Buns of Steel. I would find quite a few of these, and it's the burgers and fries. The Circle Flame logo is on the back here. We have some burger livery, and it's blue and yellow. And I like this treasure hunt because burgers and fries were one of my favorite meals at the time, and you gotta love a good meal of burgers and fries. But anyways, it's time to move on to our E-Case treasure hunt, which is the Batmobile. This thing's a pretty bland treasure hunt, and I would also get this Super in a giveaway that I won. However, this treasure hunt isn't as good as the Super, and is one of the more bland ones. And now, one of the few that I did not find was this guy. We have ourselves the Circle Trucker, I mean. This is the 2020 F-Case treasure hunt, sitting here in a beautiful silver. I like the orange wheels on this, and a giant Circle Flame logo that's almost the size of that front wheel. And I don't know about the orange glass on it, but other than that, I think this is a pretty clean treasure hunt. Next up is my all-time favorite treasure hunt, and this thing I was ecstatic about. And it's the Dodge Charger Daytona tuned. This thing was a hit with me when it came out. I got a ton of these online, and then I realized scalping was bad. I do notice something odd about this one though. I noticed that the Circle Flame logo is on the one side only. It would typically be right where my finger is, however it's not here, and it's only on that one side. And black base, And this is one of my favorite color combinations, black and yellow. And I think that Hot Wheels hit this treasure hunt out of the park, and I'd love to see the stock version of either the Daytona or Superbird as a treasure hunt in the future. Up next, we have the H-Case Camaro. I actually found one of these relatively recently at a Canadian Tire, as they were getting some older cases in for Christmas. And a lot of people found this to be a hit, and a lot of people really liked the the black stripes with the green. The treasure hunt logo is behind the bigger back wheel. I personally think it would be better looking if both wheels were short in the front, but I think this is one of the better ones for the year anyways. And that's it for the 2013 Chevrolet Camaro Hot Wheels edition. Up next, we have the Power Pistons with a nice massive circle flame logo there. I pulled this guy out of a case, and with an ID Chase in the same case with my grandfather. And this guy has two different variations. We have a base variation that says made in Malaysia, as well as another base variation that says made in Indonesia. Some of these were made in Indonesia, where some were made in Malaysia. Yellow is my favorite color, and the Power Pistons is a pretty cool casting. This is an older casting from around the 90s. And I remember having a few different variations of this when I was a kid. So here's the Power Pistons. And now it's time to move on to the K-Case treasure hunt, which is the 56 Ford, custom 56 Ford truck. And we have a magenta colored base. With this guy, I believe, had a couple variations as well on the front panel here. There's one with this red panel, and I'm pretty sure there's one with an orange panel as well. And I wouldn't mind getting the orange panel one in the future. However, that's okay if I don't get it. And this is the 2020 K-Case treasure hunt. The Super was the 57 Chevy. And this is one of my favorites as well, with this yellow color. Up next, we have the Dune Daddy in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics livery, which never happened. I have a feeling this one could go up in value. Although now, this thing has been in a lot of 10 packs, so I'm not sure if the value will go up considering how common of a treasure hunt it is. Not saying that treasure hunts aren't common anyways, but that one kind of sticks out into 10 packs a lot more. And speaking of 10 packs, before we move on to the next one, I actually found this guy in a 10 pack. And I would find 3 of these, one of them being recently. Anyways, before I continue to get off topic, it's time to move on to the M-Case Triceratruck. I would elect this thing to be one of the ugliest treasure hunts of all time. I do not like the color on this at all, and the wheels don't look great on it, and I'm not a fan of the blue dots. And overall, this is just not a pleasant casting at all. I don't want to get into it anymore. But the final 3 treasure hunts of the year definitely make up for that, as well as every other treasure hunt. So you're bound to get one bad one here and there. Anyways, we are moving on to the Yellow Submarine, another awesome treasure hunt, and I sure do love the Beatles livery here. So we have the little window, and if a confusing question at the time was, where is the circle flame treasure hunt? Oh. Apologies, we were having some technical difficulties and some Butterfinger issues. And apologies once again. It seems like there's a curse around this, and the camera just does not like me. It seems like every time now that the camera just cuts out because of a lack of storage. Anyways, the circle flame logo is on the back here, and it's a nice red circle flame. It kind of goes with it pretty well. And it's just by the little propellers. And overall, this is a really nice treasure hunt. Now this one, the Chevy Silverado for the 2020 P-Case, is a really interesting treasure hunt. This guy has a few different color variations. This one's the lime green one. Now there was a slightly darker lime green one here, and there was a dark green one up here. The dark green one was an error, and Well, I don't think it was necessarily an error. It was just a significant color swing and was way less common. And that one sells for probably just as much as a Super Treasure Hunt. And I'll have a listing up here. But overall, this is a really interesting treasure hunt. I love the lime green on this guy, and it just looks great in this trackside livery. And anyways, we are on to the final treasure hunt of 2020. Last, but certainly not least, we have the Dodge Viper. This is probably my second favorite treasure hunt of the year, and I love the Hot Wheels team livery on this. The Circle Flame logo is visible on the hood on this one. I would find quite a few of these, as well as finding a few of the ID Chargers. This is a YouTube short on my channel from getting up there to being pretty close to a year now. I found 5 of these and 2 ID Chases. I did not find the Chevelle Super. And excuse the hairs that are on these. I got so sorry. It seems like me and the camera have been in a battle for storage. And I'm going to go through these quickly, but we have the Dodge Viper here in a beautiful blue. I love the Hot Wheels livery on this, and I think this is a great way to end the year 2020 off. I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase, and I found 11 of the treasure hunts last year, and I only had to get 4 online. And overall, this is probably my most successful year for finding treasure hunts ever. I usually don't find this many, where I only needed 4 to go. And at the time of recording this, I only need the final 3 treasure hunts for 2021, and then I can do the showcase for those treasure hunts, which are the Batmobile, the Countach, and the Ford Galaxy, which all 3 are great treasure hunts. The Batmobile is probably the weakest one. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase of regular treasure hunts. Happy hunting, and stay safe. Peace!